Hello and welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the problems with people's expectations for monitor pricing. And yes, I know this is a very specific topic. However, I mainly just want to talk about this because I've actually been interested in monitors and like managing my budget recently because as I've said, like in a lot of other videos, I plan on bringing my PC back with me to college when I go back. And because of that, I have to bring my monitor along with me. And this 1080p 240 hertz Dell monitor is the only monitor I actually have right now. And because of that, I plan on getting a new one. Now, if you're wondering like the uber specific details on which ones I plan to get, I've been thinking about maybe getting a 280 hertz like 1080p panel, but then I realized if I just spring a little bit more, I can probably get a 1440p 240 hertz monitor, and that's probably what I'm going to try to go for because I think my PC can handle it. I have like a 4070 Ti and a pretty good CPU. So again, I think my PC is more than capable to handle the higher resolution display. However, this is a little bit off topic, but again, I just wanted to give you some context for why I'm kind of interested in this and why I think, again, people's expectations for monitor pricing is a little overblown and expecting a little bit too much, especially when it comes to OLED. And because of this specific monitor that has been released recently, and this is an Asus monitor, I don't know the exact name, but Short Circuit recently made a video about it, and I want to talk about the comments mainly in that video because a lot of people were extremely upset when the post or whatever, I don't know his name, I think his name's Ploof, something like that, revealed the price of the OLED 240 hertz 1440p monitor, which is pretty good. $550. Yes, that is a lot of money. However, for an OLED, especially for one that's pretty decently spec'd, that is pretty goddamn good. Actually, no, not even decently spec'd. That's pretty high spec'd. Like, what do you expect, man? Why do you want something even lower than that right now? Especially because OLED, it's not even that old, especially in monitors out of all things. Like OLED monitors, I think are like maybe 2 years old at the most. Like, this is a very new thing in terms of like display technology. And like, not only are they just expensive because it's a new technology and not like a fuck ton of companies have access to it yet, but also because of how goddamn good they are just in general. Like, if you see the response times, they're just objectively better than every other panel type out there. So it's no wonder why they are a lot more expensive than other panel type monitors. Like, it's just, it's not rocket science, man. But again, not only that, just also the color accuracy is really good, and also just the level to have like deeper blacks and all that. Like, it just basically combines a lot of the strongest elements from other panel types, VAs with like how good the contrast ratio is, the IPS with how good the color is, and TN panels with how fast their response time is. It basically just melds that all together into one super display, kind of. And I know that's like really oversimplifying things, but again, it's basically just all to say it is a very good panel type that is costs a lot to produce as well. And because of that, again, the monitors are very expensive. And because of that, having a $550 monitor that is this highly spec'd, that is an OLED as well, I think is pretty goddamn good. Now, is it like a very cheap monitor? As I said, no. However, is it still pretty goddamn competitive, especially compared to other monitors in that price range, especially ones that aren't OLED? Yes, because believe it or not, there are monitors, even 1080p monitors, that are also that expensive. For example, Zowie 360 Hz monitors, those are only 1080p. And yes, they have very fast response times because they're only TN panels. And they have like a really good anti-ghosting technique with their monitors. Like, they have very good response times, and they're very good at reducing ghosting. And I will say that. However, again, $550 for a 1080p monitor. You just have to keep that in mind. And again, keep your expectations. Try to keep them a little fucking low, and don't expect them to all all of a sudden, like OLED monitors, again, this very, very new technology, to all of a sudden fucking shoot down to like $400, $300. Like, bro, we're not there yet, man. Like, yes, could we get there at some point? Yeah, probably, but not yet. Again, the technology is very, very new. And by the way, there probably are going to be some people in the comments that are like probably accusing me of like poor shaming. That's not what I'm trying to do. And again, I myself am trying to go through kind of the same thing with having to manage my budget and trying to manage, which monitor do I want to get? Which one do I think would have the best needs case for my money and stuff like that. I am also trying to manage my budget, but also, again, I am not unreasonably like expecting a very new panel type monitor that is very fast in terms of response time, that is a pretty good resolution and pretty good refresh rate to be like uber dirt cheap. Like, no, it's not going to be like that. I'm sorry, but it's just not, especially in the landscape of like tech today. Especially because it's also from a big brand company. And not only that, there's also other monitors that aren't this Asus monitor. There's like a lot of budget like AOC monitors. I think there's some that are OLED as well that are also pretty cheap in comparison with like a really, really expensive like $700 plus monitor. Like, there are other options. It's not only this one monitor, and there will only be more options as time goes on. And not only that, because these new OLED monitors are coming out with pretty similar refresh rates and resolutions to these monitors that have already existed with just different panel types, now those other panel type monitors have become cheaper. And that's also, again, why I've been searching for like 1440p 240Hz monitors that are just regular like IPS or other monitor type displays, because again, they are now cheaper because of OLED. And again, this will only get more and more and more cheaper as more of them are produced. That's just how this works. So yeah, again, just a takeaway from this video: don't expect all monitor prices to basically be the same as like a budget brand on Amazon or Best Buy. Like, it's not going to be to that level yet. And I say yet because, again, it's possible they could go down to like $400, $350. Now, do I think like a 240Hz 1440p monitor is going to get like down to like $300 less? Probably not, at least for like maybe 3 or 4 years. But again, just as the technology improves and as more and more high-end monitors come out, there also will be more that are kind of similar to this Asus one that will be more appealing to budget gamers that are wanting OLED monitors at a cheap price. That's just how this shit works. And I'm not trying to defend like big fucking companies. Do not also act like I'm trying to do that, because I am not. I have heard that like the Asus monitor that I just mentioned only has like a three-year warranty, and just Asus as a company isn't super trustworthy. But honestly, even though, again, I don't really trust like huge fucking corporations with a lot of shit, I do think in the monitor space, at least, they are a little bit more consistent when it comes to QC compared to these ultra budget, like super fucking low end monitor brands. And I think they're a tiny bit more trustworthy. I'm sorry to say that, but again, I just genuinely believe that. So yeah, that is basically it. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.